Hi community! Last week I made a video about the new Aras roadmap and I got a couple of very interesting feedback, very appreciated, many thanks. And it actually turned out that I understood a couple of things in this roadmap a little bit wrong. And this is for me a perfect reason to make a second video about the roadmap. And because that was actually my intention with the first video, to get some kind of feedback, to start some discussion, to have some interaction with other users, which is really, really great. I'm really happy that there were a couple of people who asked questions or said, hey, you understood something a little bit wrong. And so today we'll make a second video where I will update you with the knowledge that I have gained in the last few days, and also maybe make share my opinion about what is the actual impact of the current roadmap to the product or to the end users and partners. And there are very various people who work with the software, and well, of course, it's all what I'm sharing here today is my own opinion. You can have your own opinion. You can agree to my opinion or let me know if you disagree. And yeah, that's, as I said before in my last video, that is what I definitely like about open roadmaps, that you can discuss and yeah, everybody learns something new. For us to start, I want to summarize a little bit my last video of what I did there. I promise this video will not get as long as the last video, because the last video was 1 hour, or I really overstretched it because there was nobody there to stop me. So I promise I will be a little bit quicker in this video. So my last video, I took a look at this current Aras product roadmap. And what I was doing was I looked at the different sections in this product area when we apply these filters, and we can get all the news in the various product areas. And to summarize my last video very, very quickly, we can, from my point of view, we got a lot of useful client improvements. So UI, UX, it improves quite well. And yeah, of course, it's all because of the Innovator 12, new design, new layout. So there's definitely a lot of things happening here, so that's all fine. Also for the platform itself, the core Innovator, it will continue to improve, of course, because it's the core itself. So would be strange if they quit improving the platform itself. One thing that was a little bit, confused about was product engineering, because I'm really not so happy with the focus on effectivity. I would like to see more change in change management itself, because product engineering is mostly about change management. And from my point of view, it could be a little bit easier. And I wish they would focus less on effectivity and more on change management. So that was my point of view. Then we also have other applications, like, for example, component engineering, which could, from my point of view, this reporting feature would be what we would need for this application. Or also manufacturing process planning, where nothing is happening. Oh God, this poor application, it's not maintained. But we also have some applications that make work are improved much more than manufacturing process planning, like the Office connector, it just works and will improve and it's fine. Or also things like the configurable user interface, because it's really everywhere. So this will definitely something that continuously improves. And we also have some kind of new applications that are, I think around 1 year old now. And actually, from my point of view, I'm not have all in mind, but from my point of view, new is simulation management, which is a super interesting topic. What I have heard already, some customer uses this. It's very, it's really powerful. It's nothing easy to do. Simulation is really, I like simulation. I'm not very into simulation topic, but this is definitely not a really powerful application. New is also system architecture. This one become like quite interesting, but I haven't had the chance to test it out yet. And another new application last year was Digital Twin Core, which is quite a little bit of contrast to simulation management and the system architecture, because these one are really, for these two applications, Aras had to spend a lot of development for making them work, while in contrast, Digital Twin Core is somehow just a table for storing serial numbers, and it's somehow a very, very simple application when you compare it to the other applications. But when you have viewed my last video, I actually said a lot of nice words regarding Digital Twin Core. Well, it's a new application. It right now cannot do much. It's just a table for storing serial numbers. And in the last video, I talked about, well, let's integrate a barcode scanner or integrate it to our ERP or somehow connect it with other databases. And I forgot one aspect about Digital Twin Core, because storing serial number is often, of course, not the end when you do product lifecycle management, because I think there will one day will some kind of, when you store serial numbers, you do it in your manufacturing and then you deliver the product to the customer. And of course, what is the next step? The products, some kind will, a bug will appear, an error, something happened with your product, so you need to maintain it. And of course, I think Digital Twin Core one day will somehow connect to where it is. So, where is it? Maintenance management, of course. But I think this is really a topic we will not see in this year, or maybe, I'm not sure. But of course, Digital Twin Core, right now it's not very powerful, but when you connect it one day to maintenance management, then of course it makes completely sense to store serial numbers in your PLM to have this connection to maintenance management. And yeah, what else did I cover in my last video? I think it's enough. I shouldn't repeat my last video. What I have learned in the last few days was that I made a little bit of mistake interpreting this roadmap. I remember one thing that I really was, one feature that I really liked was this apply a digital signature during state transition. So wonderful. And I also mentioned that I especially like that this feature is at the top of the analyzing section. So I thought for myself, it's on the top, so it's definitely high priority. This one was wrong. I learned that these features or topics here are not sorted in priority order. So it's simply just happened by accident that my favorite topic is on the top of the analyzing section. So this one is doesn't show the priority. I think it's ABC, yes. Of course, I should have seen it. No, it isn't. Here it's MA. Oh, it's not important. More important to know is, you have these 4 sections. What do they tell you? Released is features that you can already use when you, of course, have the specific language pack or application version installed. And implementing is really something Aras is actively working on, and this is really a feature you can expect to get in a few weeks, in a few months. So these are features they are really working on. And backlog and analyzing doesn't mean that these features are really that you really can expect them to come in a 1 year or so. So backlog and analyzing features are mainly driven by customer requests. So as long as no customer asks for features in the backlog and analyzing, Aras will not focus on these features. So this is something very important to learn for me or for you as end user and also for you as partner. So when you see a feature here in backlog and analyzing that you say, yes, I want to have this one, like me with this digital signature, tell them that you want to have it. Because as long as nobody requests these features, they will not care much. So I think you can say so customers that cries the loudest will get improvement. So be sure to have a loud voice. And what else? I've written down something. Yeah, also new was and also important to know regarding backlog and analyzing. I'm happy that the structure is this way, because in the past it often happened, and that is really a little bit, it's typically a little bit for PLM world. But often people get, or customers, especially potential customers, get promised features that are upcoming or not on the roadmap. So, for example, you evaluate Aras Innovator and say, hey, this feature is missing. And I have heard it very often, and it's really something that was really a little bit of problems in the last years, that some partners or Aras itself or some consultant will say, of course, no, don't worry, this feature is coming soon, don't worry. And then you finally end up waiting years, because this, of course, making promises is easy, but bringing a feature really to life in a product is hard. So don't be critical when somebody promises you a feature to come in the future. When it's not in that roadmap, it's unlikely to come until, of course, when many people ask for it. So this is important to communicate about something. When many people ask for it, then it's more likely to get this kind of feature. And of course, it's for you also a little bit more easier to get new features when you are one of Aras key target accounts, because they have more influence to the roadmaps than, I would say, existing customers or SMB customers. So what really, the roadmap often shows how can I tell it? What are the most important customers in the PLM world? It's, of course, large accounts and new accounts. This is nothing specific for Aras, of course. But when you once have selected a PLM and you put all your data in, things has to be really, really worse that you came to the idea to change your PLM software, because then you would be forced to move your data from system A to system B. So you normally select your PLM software carefully, because you intend to use it for years. So you don't switch PLM software just for, we are bored, let's move to another PLM because maybe it's fun. No, it isn't fun. And this is something that PLM vendors rely on. So once they have the customer, they don't have to care much about customer satisfaction, because they will not switch their software. They will be fine. Let's focus on features that are attractive for new customers. And this is really, as I said before, it's nothing Aras specific, but they really have to pay attention not to lose the focus on not just new features and what could we present to get our, target customers that we want to have, of course, large accounts, because it can work out very long, but at a certain point, customer satisfaction, it's always important. And one thing we shouldn't underrate here, of course, Aras focus on large accounts, which is completely nothing to be afraid of or nothing to complain about. But the rest, like SMB customers, are in English it's SMB account are handled by their partners, and of course their partners should also have interest. Like, what is the difference between SMB accounts and large accounts? Large accounts most of the time want something very specific for the company, and of course this is really a strength of innovators, that you can build crazy customizations, or when you want to build something very specific, you can do it. And S&B customers often want to reuse things. Like, hey, when we have a manufacturing process planning tool feature, hey, cool, we already pay for Innovator, and we get all these tools, and we want to use these tools. And that's a little bit but when you now look at this roadmap, like manufacturing process planning, all improvements are in the analyzing section. And what we have learned before, the analyzing section is just this could be potentially possible in the future, but it's nothing actively on the roadmap. This one would be in development when it's in the implementing sector. So partners or S&B end users really have to pay attention. Hey, when you want to use this application, pay attention if it's really something that is actively maintained. And I think it's even hard for partners because, of course, they know, hey, our target audience wants to use this feature. So these features need to work. They need to work well, not just a little bit work, but we all like tools that work well, of course. And you can clearly see there are topics where you can see at the first glance that Office Connector, it will work. Look, there is current development, future development. This one will work. And there are other features, like they're a little bit in between, yes. Maintenance management, this one is a little bit specific, but I hope you get my point. So I hope that this is something that Aras partners, but also existing customers, and it doesn't matter if they're large or small, just pay attention that Aras doesn't turn into some kind of showcasing platform, but also into a PLM software that works. I wish personally that there would be one of their, let's say, a current trend is this software as a service model. And I think we will see it soon. So right now I'm not sure if there is it really published yet, but software as a service is definitely a big trend in Innovator. And I wonder who will be the first customer for the software as a service model. I wish personally it would be a company that wants to use Innovator really as main PLM. A company like that uses all these kind of features and had say, yes, we want to use product management, and we want to do all of our change management in product engineering, because when a large account asks for easier to use transition handlers, then maybe we get these improvements faster. So this is really my wish for 2021, that I get an SaaS customer that wants to use basic PLM and not just something very specific. This is sometimes a little bit sad. It always appears to me that a lot of the big target accounts just use Innovator as secondary PLM to solve some tasks that the main PLM cannot solve, and that's stupid. I mean, it's so. Why should we? It can do it. It's just often just a few features more would make the complete application, level it up a little bit. What else did I miss in my last video? One big improvement was also test automation framework. It also targets mainly large accounts or accounts that have heavily modified, systems? I don't know. I cannot finish the sentence. I thought I would have seen it lost in the last video. Oh, it's not even there, but I thought I have seen it and forgot to mention it. Okay, so nothing today regarding test automation framework, but maybe I will make a video about updating later. Because there are, just to say some positive word, updates works well. But when you share a couple of tips, or when you have more hints, then it's even easier. So I'm really fine with update. But maybe I will make an update video one day. And one question I got was, what did I miss in this roadmap? Yes, it's of course, like what I miss is improvements to applications. especially to applications, but also a little bit of fundamental improvements to features that you wouldn't expect. For example, a compare tool. When you want to compare two bill of materials, like show me the difference, show me a diff, it's still not possible. You just have this structure browser and it's awful. Compare to, I've seen it nowhere. What I heard there is a work on something like this, but right now it appears to me that it's just a customer project and it will not make it to the final product. But seriously, who dislikes a proper compare tool? It's so essential. Maybe combine it with this graph model navigation thing or whatever. So compare tool was one of the things I miss. And also a little bit, I'm not sure if it's an issue in Innovator 12 anymore, because I have patched it by myself in Innovator 11. But we now have 3D CAD conversion, 3D viewer, 3D visualization, or this 3D product navigation, where you see your CAD model and then you can navigate it within the 3D model viewer, and I really look so wow. You look at it and say wow. And at the same time, I'm not sure, I have to test it out if it's still true. Please tell me in the comments if it's fixed and I haven't noticed this. So we have this complex 3D modeling stuff that is really resource consuming. It's really wow. At the same time, 2D images still can crash the server. When you now cannot follow my sentence, have you ever noticed that we cannot display images in the grid? Well, that's because of a simple reason. When you display too many images, 2D images, yes, simple 2D images, that are stored in your Aras world, when you display them, too many of them at the same time in your grid, and multiple users do this at the same time, then this can be risky to your server performance. And okay, we right now don't use images, 2D images in the grid, but what if we use graphics elsewhere? For example, in manufacturing process planning, you can build a process plan. Have you ever built a Lego model or an IKEA whatever? You of course get instructions that contain a lot of images. So images in manuals are something that is common. And then of course it's not very it's not perfect when your PLM software then crash when you use too many images at the same time. So this is something basic that I wanted to see. It's really something basic. It's not something like, seriously, it's 2021. 2D images shouldn't be a problem, especially when you can do stuff like 3D visualization. So that I missed, and of course, most stuff that I miss is actually there, but often in the analyzing section. So please ask for stuff in the analyzing section, and then we will get it much faster. Whatever, I have a little bit, written down in this little paper sheets. Oh, I mentioned already a lot. How long is this video? Is it again 1 hour? Last time it was so long. Yeah, I think this is enough, I think, for right now. Maybe I will make a third video about everything that I have forgotten right now. What did I miss? So, what I want to tell you with this video. If you like something from Analyze section, tell them. If you like all of my ideas from the first video, tell them. Encourage your partners to address stuff that are important for SMB customers, and also partners. Yeah, we'll talk about partners in another video. Because sometimes they have cool ideas, but sometimes we have to a little bit pay attention, because there is a little bit of trend in the partner world to replace customizable Aras features with encapsulated non-customizable ones. That's a little bit of a trend that I dislike, but this is a complete stuff for another video. And yeah, I think this is all I have to share for today. So again, thanks for watching, wish you a happy time, and maybe we will see each other in my next video. Bye!